Hey guys, so we are catching this Omega Boar brush up to its friends in my boar kind of rotation, my favorite boars, or at least ones that I'm really interested in watching how they grow. And this is I think it's an 80266. Look at the description of the video if it's important to you to know for sure. Those numbers are kind of random, and so I think I'm finally learning them, but I could be wrong. Vintage Gillette Tech. This is one that, is this the A1? No, this one's unmarked. So I think that means it's early in the time frame. In the, 40s, or maybe even the late 30s. We're going to be using the Nacet today, and this is shave number 349 today. So almost hitting a mini milestone there. Going to be using Dayman from Declaration Grooming, and this is the Milksteak soap. The Milksteak is the base, and I've saw this come out a few months ago, and a lot of people bought it, but it has shown up on a lot of people's I want to sell this kind of posts, and so I think maybe some people are finding it's just not a good match for them. I almost didn't use it today, and the reason is because I'm smelling it from the tub and I can barely pick up anything. Now, I bought it used. I don't know if the guy who had it before me liked to let it sit out and completely dry. There are people who like to do that, and those, I believe that can really let a soap lose a lot of its scent power, and that's one of the reasons why I don't do that. I let it sit out for a little bit, maybe 45 minutes, and then I cap it up. But anyway, this is Dayman. It was released as a pair of products, Dayman and Nightman, and they both have aftershaves and soaps. And he initially said that you could wear the Dayman soap with the Nightman splash. You could intermingle them, even though they don't really share a lot of notes. I looked this up just now, and it said it was very lemon focused, lemon forward, and bright, happy, summer. Those types of scents are what is supposed to be in here. So let's just see what we get. Because of the scent strength, like I said, I almost didn't bring it to show you guys, but since it's a popular maker, since it's a soap that's out kind of right now, you guys might be wondering about it, and so I figured, okay, even if it's almost unscented, let's just try it out. Now, because it's so light smelling, I'm going to scoop it instead of using my brush. I expect to be, passing it on to somebody else. And also that lets me dig down deeper than just the surface. And maybe there's some more scent down there. Maybe the surface has released all its scent, so that's giving it its best case, I believe. All right, so we will spread this into the bottom of the lather bowl. Now this is a pretty soft soap base, and so I don't have to really focus on getting those chunks. Oops, sorry about that. Getting those chunks all flattened out. With harder soaps, you do need to be concerned, because if they get loose, they might never really be absorbed into the lather. All right. There's just barely any scent there at all. It is a kind of a cool downturn lately, so I am bringing hot water into the picture just to bring my tap water up to lukewarm kind of status, cool status instead of frigid. All right, so I got my face wet, so let us take the tech apart. And so we played with the other tech yesterday, the Bakelite. That's a little bit older. See, this one's got a little bit a rounder, a little bit of curve to the surface of the base plate here. Definitely thicker and more substantial. All right. Nacet. There's the dots just to kind of authenticate. Since I'm going into such high numbers, people are prone not to believe me. And I understand that. But I'll show you the blade each time so that you know. All right, we did get my face wet, so we can just roll right into working up the lather. I'm going to shake out a lot of the water. And we'll just get going. Now, will this scent kind of wake up? Actually, it kind of is. A little bit of the lemon is wafting up to my nose. Maybe I'll be very glad that I brought it to you. I was definitely going to do kind of like a test lather with it off camera. I've got another soap, Boar from Oleo. It has more scent from the dry puck. But again, it's another light one, and several of the Oleo samples I've tried have been really light. So this guy is just from the stirring I've done so far. It's kind of giving us some dry lather there. Let's tilt you down. Go ahead and just put in 2 teaspoons right away, because it's Milksteak. It may only need 3, it might only need 2, but I know it'll be 2 or more. It doesn't need as much water as some of the other soaps out there. Some of the other omegas I've just kind of put away. Their tips were just taking too long to get comfortable. A couple of them, the loft was so long that it just wasn't a very enjoyable soap to use, brush to use. Now, the Italian barbers will actually grip the hairs and not only hold the brush by the handle, and so that helps them to be able to mitigate that long loft. But I wasn't really interested in doing that. So I do have another Omega, the 20102, and I'm keeping it in because it's my representation of those Omega brushes that just have those tips that are taking such a long time to get comfortable. Now my Simogue and Zenith brushes and this particular Omega have tips that are already comfortable, even though the tips may be in various states of splitting. They're still comfortable, and that's what matters. And at least I can have nice comfy shaves while I wait for the tips to fully split and get even better. And so the experience is one where I'm in a good place and it's getting better and better, while with those tough tip Omegas, I'm not in a good place. I'm in a kind of annoyed place, and then maybe after a few hundred uses, then the tips start to get enjoyable, and I thought, nah, not gonna bother with that. Now, maybe one of these days I'll try one of those shortcut methods, shortcut break-in methods, and see if that helps anything to one of those Omegas that I don't really care about, because a lot of boars are really inexpensive. So why not try something on it, right? Especially if you don't have very much invested in it. So just mixing around. We might be about done. Oh yeah, look at that. I think that means we're done for this particular soap. It does have a little bit of structure to it, but I think this is one that's geared so much toward moisturization, skincare, that sort of thing, that I need to run it a little drier than usual. 3 teaspoons of water is what we have in this lather so far, so let's just see how that works. Nice comfy brush. And this was a freebie. This got included in a box of stuff that I bought, and it sat around for like a year or two, not even used. Little did I know it was my favorite Omega. Now sometimes look at the shape of what the clod that just dropped off. See, it's actually it's holding its own structure. It's holding its own kind of rock-like shape. It didn't drip off, it fell off. And so that can often be an indicator that your lather can use more water if you want. So why don't we put some more in there? If it drips off, that can be an indicator that you're a little too wet or you got an inconsistent mix. Okay. So we've got a pretty good mix on my face. Let me go ahead and add. I may have added water to the bowl, but I didn't add it to my face. I am getting a light, pleasant lemon scent. I would not be all that unhappy if I had to use this. Stranded on a desert island, it's a nice scent. I mean, to me, lemon's really all I'm getting. There could be some nuance in there as well, but it's not readily available because it's just so light. All right. So I'm glad I tried it on camera here. I mean, I would have noticed in my test lather. I would have seen, hey, wait a minute, that's actually giving me some scent. And so then I would have brought it to you guys. So the Piccolo SE has been a razor with the open comb base plate, has been the razor I've been using to show you this blade. But this tack is actually more comfortable. So we'll just have to see. Tiny bit of tugging on the first pass. But we'll have to see what kind of results it gives me. It's not enough just to be comfortable. The tech is nice because any of those aftermarket handles that are out, like at West Coast Shaving or Maggard razors, big fan of them. They will all, Windrose has got some neat designs on Etsy, as well as folks like, I've heard Rod George. I think mostly he's on Facebook. Haven't really seen his stuff too much elsewhere. But all those are usually the metric, like the M5.08 or something like that. And where the vintage tech is the 1032, the standard threading measurement. And so the M5 will fit on this head, because the bolt here is the standard, the 1032. It's slightly smaller than the M5 metric equivalent. And so those handles will fit on these caps, but very often heads that are made by a more contemporary company with the metric, the M5 threading, will not fit onto the 1032 handles that the Gillettes have. So I'm not picking up, like I said, very much dimension for this one. But it is a nice light, kind of happy type scent. It's not super, because of its lightness, it's not overtly lemony. Like, I don't get the impression that I'm dealing with furniture polish. If you're in the US, you know, a lot of us grew up with lemon scented furniture polish being a strong memory for us. And that's not what this is reminding me of. It's brighter and more enjoyable than that. No, to be honest, I think I may actually like the lathers that I get from Fine Accoutrements or some of those other soaps. To be honest, even Sterling better than Milksteak, because this has got some of those moisturizers in it, and so it ends up with those kind of oils and butters and that type of thing. It's got a little bit more drag. It's not as fast. And so those, just like when I tried shave oil as a pre-shave one time, and it slowed down my razor. I didn't like it. You know, pre-shave oil. And that's kind of what this is doing. I don't think I like Milksteak as much as, well, I've always said I didn't like it as much as Bison or Icarus. But I mean, to me, for what I want in a soap, Milksteak, I don't like it as much as, you know, Sterling or Fine. One of those kind of pure soap-based soaps that doesn't try to bring in the oils and stuff. Maybe I need to do some thinking about that. Get rid of some of my Milksteak soaps, because I've got several. I mean, it's fine, don't get me wrong. But when you've got a lot, you're not going to be able to get around to them. Got a couple of passes of lather left over in the tub there. So that quarter teaspoon is a little bit rounded. That was plenty to do the job. Yeah, the razor just doesn't feel as fast. The skin doesn't quite feel as protected. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the soap. Could be that the soap just doesn't quite match my own needs, my own preferences. And a good rinse. Let's do one more neck pass. Mainly on this side over here. It's one nice thing that the tech has above the Fatipes is because the Fatipes have a very specific threading. So it's very few alternative handles that you can use with them. Shoney is another company that does Fatipe. I mean, that Fatipe is basically the maker of. And so there are there are a few handles out there you can choose from, but nothing like the M5 market with Gillette compatible and all that, Parker, Muley, all those. All right, face feels good, no irritation, nothing like that. I don't have any weepers, of course. Let me get a good rinse, and then I'll check out the results closely. I think the Fatip Open Comb probably delivers a closer shave than the Tech, but it's nice just to have the Tech as an alternative, switch back and forth, that kind of thing. And it's an acceptable shave for most jobs, I believe. Let us go ahead and jump into the Tribute. It's a pineapple and peach, if I'm remembering right, type scent, and as the front kind of fruity notes. It's not super sweet, so it's not cloying, but it is definitely pineapple. But the fruitiness does fade pretty quick. Underneath we have, I think it's vetiver and patchouli. They serve to kind of anchor it a little bit, give it a little earthy nature to it without being dirty. And that's pretty much the description he put in, and I think it's pretty accurate. All right, there we go. This is a non-alcohol splash. I'm happy. I'm fine with that. I'm glad it doesn't have any menthol. That's my little idiosyncrasy. And we got a good shave, nice comfy shave with the Tech. This is the oval Tech. It's not. It doesn't have the triangle peaked holes right there. It's just a normal standard oval one. So that means it's a post-war Tech. All right, 4 teaspoons of water were used in total, and 2 passes left over, and kind of 1.5, you know. I could get 2 out of it if I wanted to, and that's pretty much the perfect amount of excess for me. I did do 3.5 passes. Nice comfy brush. Good shave. All right, one more shave and we kind of a mini milestone of 350. This little guy doesn't have a lot of splay or openness at this point. That will increase over time. You can see the little outliers, and more will gradually join in, but he doesn't have a whole lot of density, but you don't need a whole lot to shave with. And a matter of fact, that lack of density makes it quick and easy to clean. It also means it splays easily. The lather moves in and out of the brush very easily. Those thick badger brushes that I have that's so dense, you work them for a little while and then they have an emptiness in the middle and all the soap is on the outside. And you have to kind of resetting things and to try to keep that lather in the brush. You don't have to really worry about that with brushes that are a little bit less dense than the high density things. Just dropped him on the towel, so that's what he looks like. So the scent on this soap, pleasant lemon scent, but not super lemon focused. It's got some other things in there that are kind of helping it out, and that's, I guess, where some of the care and finesse comes with his scent development process. And I like the fact that it's not a standard lemon type, basic lemon note. However, it's not all that interesting per se. I might have to look around in my collection, kind of how many different bright scents do I have. Most of my scents are kind of spicy and leathery, woody, midnight stag, fun scents like that. And that's usually what I prefer to shave with. I don't think I need another one that's kind of in this genre, kind of happy sense. But it's maybe worth thinking about. So anyway, that's my take on it. It's pleasant. It's happy. It's not so mono lemon that it's boring per se, but it is less interesting than many. Put it that way. I think a lot of people would like it. I think a whole lot of people would enjoy it if they just were stuck using it, and they wouldn't complain. But there are just a lot of choices out there for us right now. All right, well, there we go. I sure hope there's been something good in this video for you. It's going to help you. Glad to put Dayman out there. I can see why he created it. You don't always have to create adventurous, pungent things. You know, sometimes you can strike upon a classic that, for me, Fresh Vetiver by Fine Accoutrements is the Gray Vetiver scent from Tom Ford, and it's just easygoing and to me a classic, interesting. I could wear it all day, and that hits, and so you never know where it hits with me, and so you never know when something is going to hit with the public or enough people to make it a really profitable thing, and so I applaud. I think it's a neat thing that he did, Scott Stewart, with Declaration Grooming, with putting out that pair of scents. Pardon me. And why not try it? Why not try it? I don't think I have Nightman, but I'm sure I'll be able to try it at some point with it just a sample or what, you know. All right. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You guys take care. Good day.